Welcome to Football Fumb and join me in my QPR career. This is episode 11 and it's August 2020. You may just see that the summer transfer window is just finished. Apologies for not uploading earlier, but it's time. But secondly, I want to show you how we finished last season. It was slightly disappointing. If you look at, we finished Championship, we finished second, runners up. First season in the Premier League, we finished 14th. Then we've sort of, you would say, plateaued 13th, and last season again 13th, and it was just a little bit disappointing, and I didn't feel like uploading. I was a little bit down because things weren't working, but I'm on the up now. If you can see, this season we've had some great look at that one poor draw where I rotated the team, but Premier League started and the Cup, and we've got the wins. If I can try to show you some action, and then we'll get on to transfers, etc. So if I can, goals. Just bear with. Yeah, so end of season 2019-2020. We finished 13th, and here we go. Gribbin with the corner. Comes back out to Havertz. Woodburn. Squares it. Solar hits it. And then Havertz chips it in again. This is first match. See, away to Arsenal. Toughie. So you can probably notice I've mentioned a few new signings there. And then another one of my signings, which I'll go through a little bit in detail later. Malang Sarr gave away a penalty where Giroud just slotted it in. So it's 1-1 away. We have a throw-in with Sarr from Risha. It's square. Solar controls and just hits it. So, and Carlos Soler ended up to be player of the match. So that was a great start, because we've generally, I think last season we were away at Man United, and I think we came away with a 2-1 loss, which wasn't too bad. But I think generally we keep losing our opening matches, which obviously when you're down the bottom and you've got no points on the board for a little while, is inherent pressure. So, good start. If I can just show you, and then that was away to Arsenal. Home against Cardiff, I played the same tactic, but it was tricky. I think they basically had 11 behind the ball. So this was, although it's only 1-0 at home against Cardiff, who I think have just been promoted, they're going to be down the bottom. It was a very important win. So if we just talk through the action, yeah, although they had 4-2-3-1, that's what they finished at, I think. But they were we're not seeing much action here, are we? Is this my computer not working? Sorry about this. Goals. Show the bloody goals. I think what I might have to do is leave this match. Show you the West Ham match. I think my computer's struggling. It's on goals. When did we actually score? Bradley Dack. I may have to edit this out. Just bear with. This is a bit boring there, isn't it? Why is it not showing it? Just want to see the goals. 1-0. It's doing the whole bloody match. This laptop probably a bit of a mistake. I'm used to PCs. This laptop is just struggling. This is going for a whole bloody match. I'm coming out of that. Then we had a great this was totally rotated team away to Leyton Orient in the cup. So let's see if this works. So this was pleasing because we're normally knocked out of knocked out of cups. Showing a goal, but we can't bloody see it. Ammo for the assist. And then Ammo scores at the near post. So that was a great result. If I can have a go, there's 2-0 away to West Ham, although you will see Bradley Dack scored both goals, but you will see Kolasinac was sent off, which obviously helped us after 16 minutes. You just can't do it, can it? It's just not showing any action. So there we have it. Let's come out of this. It's just not working. So, talking about tactics, with these 4 wins, the tactic of choice is this one, with 2 inverted wing backs, 3 centre backs, and 3 shadow strikers. But I sort of blame myself. But last season, if we look at the schedule, last season, look at this bad run. There's too many draws, too many losses, because I was trying out all 3 tactics to see what was best, and now this season I'm just sticking with one, which is the 5 at the back. Sorry, inverted wing backs, 3 at the back, 2 midfielders and 3 shadow strikers, and that's proved to be good. That's proved to be working. So stick with that until it doesn't work, and then I'll probably swap or alternate with one of the other 2. So yeah, the strikers, if we look at the squad, and let's just go to, if I can get it, positions. The players to lose out in this preferred formation are obviously the strikers. I want to keep Isaac, who's young and can be trained up. Libra has been disappointing, but he's still on another 2-year contract. So I'm hoping that he will come good. He will come good because I can't sell him or loan him, which is another frustration. I'm sure you'll share that frustration with me. Again, Boutink is wanted by 24 clubs. I bought him for £6 million. They're offering, because of his current value, 1.2. They're offering sort of less than 1 million. I'm just not going to sell him for that. So again, he's young, and I hope to keep him. But the other thing that I did do was I experimented with having. Well, I actually brought in 3 cheap or free model professionals. So if we look at Everton, not a great player. I've tried to even sell him or let him go free. But Ryan Brunt from Barnet is not that bad. But the idea is to keep them in the under 23s, and then they tutor the younger players with them being model professionals. So I experimented with tutors. I've got a set tactic, hopefully. As I said previously, strikers like Junior or Vinicius Junior, Giovanni Simeone, who requested to leave, probably broken promises, etc., and also Zach Clough. They all lose out because they just couldn't retrain, it seems, as a shadow striker. So, I mean, obviously attacking midfielders work best. Tactics have now been sorted. Tutors I looked at. Loans. I've loaned out Simeone, who will probably go back. He won't come back. Vinicius Junior, who is still contracted to 2023. He's a great player. He may, hopefully, I won't lose money on him at least. But I'm not so sure about Giovanni. And he's on loan at Leeds till just the end of this season. He probably won't come back, and I probably will lose money on him. But Vinicius Junior is on loan at Hoffenheim. I can recall them. Zach Clough, he's a good player. He's a very good Championship player, lower end Premier League. Again, he probably won't come back. To see how well he does at Brentford on loan. I did load. If you look at scouting, I did load the Chinese leagues, etc. But no Chinese club has come in for any of my players. It's been really frustrating trying to loan out players, etc. So then, if we have, obviously, like all teams in March, had our new youth intake, and I think Stephen Farrell, he looks quite good. Well, reasonable. Who else? Well, Taggart, Duffy. Yeah, Vaughan was from before. And that Babangida, he looks quite good. So the youth, and Dan Lee was a great goalkeeper to come in. And you will notice when I show you the transfers. So the youth players, for the future, that's what I will be looking for. I don't anticipate signing anyone else. It's probably going to be letting players go now that they're in the hope to establish Queen's Park Rangers as a Premier League club. So, and then the youth can come forward, come through. So Liam Graham, I think, was the other one. 13 determination. He looks quite good. He's only 17. So they're not fantastic youth players, but they are certainly better than we've had previously, and that's more than likely down to my new. Where is he? You can never find things when you want them, can you? Coaching. So yeah, new head of youth development. He's right at the end. Christian Speakman, and in actual fact, he actually, I've given him responsibility to place orders to bring in youth players. So if we look at Steve Byrne, I don't think it's going to be good enough. He's only here. Yeah, he's just dropping down. He's not good. So this is a guy, which I'll show you with the transfers, that Christian Speakman, he just basically put in a bid, which because I gave him the responsibility to, and he looks good. If I go to the under 18s again, Kenny Walker, he won't be good enough. Dan Lee was the one Christian Speakman suggested. So I actually did let go Sam Johnston because I thought this is the guy, Kevin Guy, who looks really good. It's 17 years old. So I've got a centre back. Christian Speakman suggested, and I brought in Kevin Guy and the centre back. I mean, you can't really turn down a guy that's surname Magic. If he lives up to it, all well and good. Look at that, 4 to 5 star. So he looks good. So that's a little bit of a change, and it doesn't really matter now. But we've had a Brexit. You may have gathered, like in your saves, it was a soft one. So it's same as. The rules are all same as. So the idea now is, I've got two tactics that have found to work. This one for the 5-2-3 and the 3, which is just slightly different roles, etc. They work, and the idea is now to sort out the squads. Maybe let a few go and give them all playing time, and not be like I was before with transfers, kid in the candy shop, just buy everybody. So as you can see, let me go straight to the transfer policy is sometimes also during the transfer window. I have found is sometimes best to wait. Because better deals come up later. I think Michael Keane was after. I think Burnley wanted something like 16-17 million, and then he eventually goes to like Swansea or someone for 7. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So it's best to wait sometimes. So straight on with the transfer history. The two, as I said, this guy, Schwab, model professional, he was just unhappy. I got a little bit of money. I think I got him free. Zenalem came back. Again, I've got he was a free transfer originally when the game first starts, 2016. And I made a little bit of money on him. The rest are pretty well loan. I'm getting fees for, especially Vinicius is good fee. Not so good from Simeone. And again, not so good with Zach Clough. I got start of the transfer window. Jordan Cousins, he was quite a good servant to me, but he was just never going to be any good. So I thought that was above his value, 6 million. That was a good sale. Will Grigg, I feel a bit disappointing, but again, he could never retrain as a shadow striker. I know I'm asking a lot, but for over $1 million. That was it was just a sensible deal. I've talked about Zach Clough going to Brentford. Sam Johnston, he was on 20 grand a week. I can see he's gone to Birmingham for only 5 grand. I mean, he was going to settle for 11. So they just take the mickey a little bit. Again, I've talked about Simeone. I'd like to have him back, but we shall see. Ryan Manning, he just never, he's still free. He never progressed, as hopefully he will do in real life. Ben Garrett, he's gone to Rotherham, which is probably his level, sadly. I did think about bringing him in, but again, I don't think he will get any better. I've talked about Vinicius, which is nice to say. Steve Byrne, he's on loan. He's not improving. He won't ever play for us. He won't come back. Gary Fletcher, loan. He's a youngster who looks hopeful, and he's at Braintree Forest Green. He's getting some experience. Zenelem is good. Good championship at least. I talked about Schwabi. Zakaria was a bit of a moaner. Quite annoying. He's in his last year of his contract. I wanted to keep him. He wanted to go, so it's quite a reasonable fee. And the other beauty is I could have got a transfer fee, but I think he was one of my biggest signings when I first started. About 6-7 million, something like that, and I could only get 3 million, something like that, 3.5 million, all from Premier League teams. I didn't want to sell him to a competitor in the same league, so he's gone to Montpellier in France, I think it is. But Kuki, another frustration. He wanted European football. I couldn't quite offer it. Hopefully this season, but not at the moment. And I would have loved to keep him, but as you can see, that was I bought him for 8.5 million, which is, I think some people can get him free, but that was his release clause. 33.5 million, rising to 42.5 million. I know he's one of the best wonder kid strikers on the game. I couldn't get any, it was non-negotiable. I would have loved to get him back, but you never know if Bayern don't use him. I will try and snap him up. Right, on to the new transfers. I've talked about Kevin Guy, who was recommended by the Speakman. Malang Sarr, who I had on loan, I think the second half of last season, he will turn out to be good, I think, and he's a left footer, so that balances the 3 centre backs. This guy, Abdel Hak Nouri, he can play as a shadow striker straight away, and in readiness for Kuki going, he's a good player, and he will get better, and he can slot in there. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I maybe overpaid about, I think, 20 million for him, but he is probably one of the better wonder kids on the game, and he's English, and I really wanted Diego Dalot, who I had on loan last season, but he just wouldn't sign, and they were asking ridiculous, probably about something like 100 million or something. So that was good. Ben Woodman, I'd love to sign permanently, but I've got him on loan, and he plays shadow striker again straight away. And the other thing is, what we were missing last season is pace. So he's got pace, and he's done well already. The Rui Perez, he should turn out, he's a defensive midfielder, a direct, probably, hopefully better replacement for Zakaria in readiness. So I think I got him quite cheap. Let's just have a look what I got him for. Yeah, 7.25 million. So it's probably swings and roundabouts with Zakaria. Then, as again, what I said to you, you guys before, sometimes it's best to wait. Bayer Leverkusen wanted something ridiculous like 40, 50, 60 million for this guy who I had on loan last season. Again, he can play shadow striker straight away. I waited and waited. I sort of lost interest. And right towards the end of the transfer window, he came up again. He liked the way we play, my tactics, etc. And he signed for 17 million. Which I think over time will be a bargain. And I've talked about Dennis Magic, 18 years old, 6'2", great heading, pace worries me a bit, but they're going up. Mentals are good, so hopefully he will prove to be good. A regen at 1.3 million. And the last one, again, I didn't scout or anything this guy, but Speakman did. He signs from Charlton Athletic only for 1.1 million. And his stats look good. Again, 17 years old. So it bodes well for the future. And I don't, as I say, he's wanted already. Maybe on loan or something, yeah. So I don't anticipate buying anyone else. There's quite a few players that are not getting gameplay, as is like this Quitongo, for example. He moaned a little bit. He played against Leyton Orient and scored. So yeah, and they're all young. Generally all young players, so they hopefully bodes well for the future and only can get better. The astute or keen eyes may have just noticed that I have also been appointed England manager, the Poison Chalice. So, and I've just done my first team. I think, well, lucky enough I don't have to deal with players like Rooney, etc. But yeah, I've announced my first squad, and this is my first team. So next episode will hopefully be a special. I will give you gameplay if it works, if my computer works, seeing how we get on with the 3 shadow strikers, with my 370, which was borrowed, which I think I've said before, from the Reckonist. See how that works out with the England team. A few players. If I go down with this squad, just show you the full squad. A few players like Jack Wilshere were not very happy, but we shall see how we get on, and I'll probably have to tweak this as we go through. But yes, Gareth Southgate is gone. Next QPR manager is in. So we'll have to see how we get on. So, manager of Queen's Park Rangers and England. Football Fumb, over and out. Speak to you next time. Hope drop a like, subscribe, put a comment down below. All will be appreciated. Thanking you. Bye-bye.